afternoon class. What I'm going to discuss is okay, so what I'm going to discuss this afternoon is all about methods of assessing effective learning outcomes. So before we proceed to the main topic, let me read first the objective first. First, understanding the importance of assessing effective learning outcomes. Second, familiarize with different methods of assessing effective learning. And lastly, evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of each method. So before that, who can give me their own idea about effective assessment? Anyone? Okay, Miss Salvador. Please stand.
Affective talks about feelings, emotions, like that.
Okay, thank you, Miss Salvador. Who else? Yes, Miss Nancy.
Affective assessment is about evaluating the social and emotional of the students.
So, what is effective assessment? So, effective assessment is a type of assessment deals with the effect dimensions of student learning. So, kasi si effective domain, di ba namin siya sa objectives? Di ba si first objective domain is cognitive, followed by affective, and lastly,
Psychomotor.
So, affective derived from the Latin word affectus, which means feelings. So, it includes a host of construct like attitudes, values, beliefs, opinions, interests, and lastly, motivations. So, they are not cognitive outcomes of learning that are not explicitly demonstrated. It looks into how students feel while they are learning, or how learning experiences have influenced their emotions and future behavior. So, kanina effective assessment is makita na to ang atong mga feelings, belief, interest, attitude, even motivation sa atong learners nga ana na to siya makitaan. Then, kanina ilang mga practice nga emotions or unsa ang ilang intake ng feelings or kanang pagkatawo nila paghandle sa ilang emotions. Dira na to makita kung unsa ang mga possible positive behavior and negative behavior. Then, we future educator, we should facilitate not just only for psychomotor and cognitive aspect, but also we need to focus also the non-cognitive aspect like effect or affective. So, then why effective assessment? So, nganong naaman ko no effective assessment? It is because teaching is also knowing and understanding students as the learners and at the same time as a human. So, kay lagi man ang students nga naa sa classroom o sa outside sa classroom, could be kana nga type of learner is introvert or extrovert. So, magdepende na siya kung saan nila ma-build. Then, it is essential that teachers know the feeling of pleasure, enjoyment, or even anxiety that learners experience because this feeling will have bearing on their attitudes, motivations, and beliefs that will eventually be manifested in their future behavior. So it could be individualized na approach to students aron ma-reshape na to ang lesson plan nga atong pagalimuon, nga atong i-base, ini-facilitate sa atong learners. Then, anang utama, makatabang ni siya in identifying the needs of the students. So, dito na itong ma-measure ang mga strengths and weaknesses sa atong learners, kaya ito ang silang ginasabot and also ang silang ginila as a learner and at the same time as a human. So, next is method of assessing effective targets. So, there are three feasible methods of assessing effective traits and dispositions. So, these methods are first, there are emotions and feelings change quickly, especially for young children during early adolescence. Sorry. Our first teacher observation, followed by a student self-report, and lastly, peer ratings. So according to Macmillan in 2007, since affective are not directly observable, they must be deduced from behavior or what students say about themselves and others. So there are a variety of psychological measures that assess affective rarely use them. Instead, own observation and student self-report are mostly used. So among these three feasible methods, aron pag-assess sa atong affective traits and disposition sa atong learners. So ang mas magamit dito sa atong field is kaning teacher observation and student self-report. So kaning teacher observation, dili nato siya pwede i-apply atong mga tactics, our own strategies, kung saan nato pag-trace atong mga gaps or mga barriers sa students, aron mahibaw-an nato or ma-meet nato atong target sa affective domain or sa affective or dispositions. So and then there are three considerations in assessing affect. First, emotions and feelings change quickly, mostly especially for young children and during early adolescence. So early adolescence kay from elementary grades, ilahang edad nag-range sila sa from experiences let's count starting from grade 1. Edad ana nila is 6 years old up until grade 6. Then ang edad nag-range sa 12 up to 13. So in that part, from level 1, nag-start sila sa lack of consciousness. Like, ma-conscious sila sa ilang buhat, sa ilang behavior, mapakita ilang mga feelings and emotions. Then, then ma-change quickly na ilang pagkabata, mautro tayo ilang behavior, kaya naman sila sa early adolescent stage, sa developmental stage. Second, use varied approaches and measuring the same affective traits as possible. So when we say varied approaches, dapat po kita as a teacher mo adapta o dahilain strategy method. Kanang naa po tayo option nga atong pilian din atong i-apply aron makita nato unsay mas suitable ana ang concept aron makita sa nato atong target sa atong affective traits. And lastly, decide what type of data or results are needed. Is it individual ba or group data? So, kaning type of data, naan sila yung two classifications. It's either individual or group data. So, when we say individual, kana yung tagsa-tagsaon na to o facility na itong learners. For example, through casual conversation. Matawag na siya individual na pagkuha sa atong mga result. Also, through answering and responding to questions that we ask. So kanang atong learners mo respond na sila dayon. Then ana nato mag-gather ang mga result kung unsay karamihan yung nila individually and then by group. So sa group data or by peers, data height, ana nato sila i-observe kay dali kaya gid ato behavior. Samot na kay ana sa college level. So there are a circle of friends nga anak mga part o ana sila mga competitive. Tapos ang uban is low key na. Then ang the rest is kanang mga buutan, yung mga bright. Diba?
Ako na, sir.
So, teacher observation. So, teacher observation is one of the essential tools for formative assessment. However, in this chapter, the emphasis is on how to use this method so that teacher can make more systematic observation to record students' behavior that indicates the presence of targeted affective traits. So as what I said earlier, or I mentioned about sa teacher observation na kung may teacher observation na atay ginang-follow nga pang teacher observation na dyan siya. Pwede ta ma-apply as a teacher, di ba teacher nang taso na atay ka na own nga method or strategy.
Sir, can you state the importance of the teacher observation?
Sure. So this will help the teacher in gathering data. That could help the teacher what strategy he or she will be used that will be so of effective learning as well as in teaching. So In using observation, the first thing to do is to determine in advance how specific behavior relate to the target. So it starts with a vivid definition of the trait, then followed by a list of student behavior and actions that corresponds to the positive and negative dimensions of the trait. So behaviors and action are identified initially by listing what the student with positive and negative behaviors do and say. So classify those and create a separate list of the positive behaviors and another list for the negative students' behavior. So this list will serve as the initial or starting point of what will be observed. So kaning teacher observation is the first strategy approach na pwede na i-apply aron ma-assess na to ang effective nila para sa ilang learning outcomes. So before mo buhat ang teacher observation, magbuhat ka daan og list to separate ang positive and negative behavior, and then dili lang ta mag-focus sa ilang behavior. Also, bantayan sa nato ilang actions or could be ilang di pang solid. Kaya nila matuduan natin sila sa GMRC or what we call goal, moral and right conduct. So this is one of the effective way of assessing the learners. So this is the example of students' behavior taking positive and negative towards learning. So positive, also known as approachable behavior. So yung example is rarely misses classes, rarely late to class, ask questions. Then the negative, also known as avoidance behavior. Example is frequently absent, is frequently tardy, and rarely ask questions. So under aning a chart is unstructured observation and structured observation. So when we say unstructured, so kani dili siya as in gusto isip, in other words, dili siya limited. Whereas learning structured is limited siya sa pagkuha sa results sa mga reports sa students. Kaya structured na siya, like organized na siya sa mga pumagi. So student self-report, there are varied ways to express student effect as self-report. The most common and direct way is while having a casual conversation or interview. So kaning student self-report, kaning klase sa pagkuha sa ilang mga reports sa students, especially sa behavior. Kaning nga way more na siya nag-investigate na kakayang students na correspond nimo through verbal communication and also non-verbal, which is written form, kaning questionnaire or survey. So ang ako gini sa verbal communication kaya ang student interview, kaya ang teacher mag-ask of more questions related sa concept on how to trace the positive and negative na behavior sa students. Then dito na siya matali itong iyang mga results tanan. Whereas, kaning survey and questionnaire, kaning siya naan siya yung mga klase sa format, which is constructed response format and selected response format. So the difference between the two is constructive response format is straightforward, while ang selected is moagi pa siya through rating scale, semantic differentiation scale, and checklist. And lastly, peer rating is the least method to be used in assessing effective learning outcomes. It can be used to assess interpersonal traits. So, in each peer ratings, pwede din siya hook up of bias na pag-rate kay in the meta proper of presentation in efficient in term of nature kanang masawan pagkanta sa scoring kay possible nga mabias in rating. Then kaning pag-interpret by pairing peer rating dili ta kayo makaka-authentic result kay need pa i-verify ni teacher. Since naalam sa teacher sa classroom, siya maoy maka-observe sa behavior or something na dapat makita natin through assessing them. Then, makamingle man dyan si teacher sa iyong mga learners. Then, dito na ma-verify ang result sa peer rating. Then, the two methods of conducting peer ratings are A, guess-who approach, and the B, sociometric approach. So, kaning guess-who approach, mura ni siya na individualized na approach. Then, ang sociometric is kaning a concept is more on generalized. Kaya ang target is environmental. So this approach approaches can be used together with observation classroom environment targets. So, gamit yun siya especially sa pag-observe o sa pagbuhat sa